Islam family. I'm GoldenLebEl, the CEO and founder of LAQNX. LAQNX is a community building investment firm designed to turn poverty into a plateau for prosperity, which basically translates into an organization for us to begin investing in ourselves and our communities free of our enemies' influences. In truth, there's nothing new under the sun, and that is core eloquence. It's just the sum of a lot of the work our ancestors started, that I studied, learned from, and sought to apply to my life and my community in this day and time. Understanding how empowering and useful this knowledge has been for me, I've sought to create a way for all of us who are willing to save ourselves to unite and carry on the noble cause of uplifting fallen humanity. Therefore, I'm going to do a lot of name drops, shout outs, and works cited type of references throughout this recording in order to offer clarification on ideas, goals, and initiatives, as well as offer points of interest for those who are interested in furthering their own research, studies, and scholarship. But ultimately, this recording is meant to be an introduction to who I am, what the foundational concepts behind eloquence are, and why you should care/join the LAQNX movement or become a member of the GoldenLebEl Society today. There's been a lot of books, videos, and lectures given on a lot of the subjects we'll cover, and rather than just regurgitate information, I'm going to give credit where credit's due and provide references to where you can look up the information for yourself should you choose to. I know in today's world there's kind of this myth that people are just born smart, and perhaps some are, but for the most part, in the information age, being intelligent or being ignorant is a choice we make. The same YouTube app that has twerking videos and all of that on it also has academic lectures, documentaries, and debates. Same Facebook app that has all those like everything but new groups also has Moorish, mentorship, and activism groups. As humans, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. But what you do with your time and attention is what determines whether you're becoming more intelligent or ignorant as you grow older. I, for one, really have no interest in being another online personality posting daily or weekly videos asking you to like, share, and subscribe, etc. I really don't have time for all of that. So I'm still looking for a spokeswoman to do something like that for the LAQNX movement, and until I find her, I'm going to just do what I got to do to get this ball rolling. I'm not sure if you've been to the website or if you're on the website right now, but if you're wondering what LAQNX is or why you should care, this video is for you. To start with the basics would be to say that our primary initiatives are building K-12 schools, summer camps, and apprenticeships, all geared towards preparing our children for the world of tomorrow. As is, the public educational system is failing our children and has been failing them at tremendous rates for some time now. There's a pretty good documentary on that subject titled Waiting for Superman, or Waiting on Superman, it's one of them, that I encourage all of you to watch. But it was Frederick Douglass who once said it's better to raise strong children than to try and fix broken men. And I believe he was right. It's the same principle behind the saying that prevention is better than a cure, and by us investing in our children's future, we will be able to present them with a way to avoid a lot of the pitfalls we've experienced, instead of continuing to have this reactive response to all of the stuff that's going on in terms of our children, our society, and our people. I also believe we'd be that much closer to achieving our liberation and empowerment as a people by prioritizing our children than we will be if we continue to leave our children at the mercy of the public schooling to prison pipeline we've experienced thus far, and ever since the prison industrial complex became the new Jim Crow, as Michelle Alexander dubbed it in her book on the matter titled The New Jim Crow. In addition to the work we are doing to provide our future generations with the tools necessary for them to succeed, We also have initiatives geared towards investing in affordable housing projects, creating co-ops, researching and developing our own sources of residual income, as well as starting our own independently owned bank/currency/forms of commerce in an effort to ensure that our people have a hand in shaping the world of tomorrow as we begin the process of decolonization and removing our resources from the hands of our enemies. Eventually, we will begin producing tutorials, documentaries, and other informational content geared towards educating our children and re-empowering our people. But at the moment, we are still working on filling our spokeswoman position, locking down cameras, recording locations, as well as building up our list of noble investors and subscribers who are willing to do more than just like and share a video or a post on Facebook, what have you. What we are looking for is people who are willing to put in the work needed for our people to live a life worth living, or as Yeshua put it, so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. I know it sounds good, but it won't come easy, and truthfully, that's a big part of the struggle that turns a lot of people off. We all want the finer things in life, the fast cars, big houses, first-class flights, and private jets, etc. But to be able to get there and stay there, especially from the position our people are currently at, it's going to take hard work and dedication. It's like when you see a skyscraper with the reflective windows and some blue chip name on the side. What you don't see is the guys that fenced off the working zone and were there from sun up to sundown until it was finished. Like everybody wants that top floor corner office, but nobody wants to be the boots on the ground building it up, and that's what we have to be in order for us to start building a few skyscrapers of our own that we own. But until we are prepared to start filming our projects, buying land and building on it, or holding red ribbon, grand openings, etc., we'll just have to make do with what we have. And what we have at the time of this recording is a website and a rather extensive to-do list, which is exactly what Google started off as. So please visit LAQNX.com if you haven't. That's LAQNX.com, and subscribe for updates if you haven't already to stay informed about all of the ways we are uniting and creatively conquering our circumstances. We are turning poverty into a plateau for prosperity, and if that's something you'd like to be a part of, you're more than welcome to join us. Due to the nature of LAQNX being a community-based project, it's rendered irrelevant without the people and our community's participation. So maintaining a direct line of communication is a prerequisite to us creating any type of effective organization within our communities. And because of this fact, we need everyone interested in being a part of what we're doing at LAQNX to visit the website, subscribe, and join the GoldenLebEl Society, which is for individuals, or Skylit Innovations, which is for business owners. By subscribing to the website directly, we can ensure that you stay up to date on what we're doing at LAQNX until you're ready to become a more active participant in our organization. I know I said I don't just want subscribers and whatnot at the beginning of this recording, and truthfully, I don't. If you're just going to be another person that ignores calls to actions, petitions, and investment opportunities, I'd rather not waste my time with you, which is also why the GoldenLebEl Society has a $100 application fee and Skylit Innovations has a $1,000 application fee. It's been my experience that when people are seriously committed to something, they'll invest in it, and vice versa, meaning if you invest in something, you're going to be committed to seeing a return on that investment. So the fees are for us to weed out the people whose words aren't followed with works, actions, and deeds. You know, the people who will cry and complain about a situation but offer no energy or effort in terms of solving a problem. We want nothing to do with those type of people. But if you're going through hard times and at the same time you still really care about our people and our future generations, please subscribe at the least and pay attention to the information we send you so we can work with you, because we need you. The struggle is real. I can testify to that. Having gone homeless the same year I started this business and fighting my way through one fight after another while having my phone turned off so I could keep LAQNX.com online while I was writing, manifesting eloquence, studying more science, and working a full-time job, all in the effort to keep moving forward. Thanks to Allah, my ancestors, and my supporters, I've been able to continue fighting the good fight for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So whatever you're going through, know that you're not alone and have faith in the brighter future you're fighting for. If I made it, you can too. And Eloquence is here to help you. Thanks in advance for listening to this recording, subscribing, and or joining our movement. Welcome to the future. All that said, let's get to the point of this recording. I'm GoldenLebEl, aka the GoldenLebEl. GoldenLebEl is my free national name, and it translates into the golden heart of God. I am a Moor, and as a Moor, I choose to honor my ancestors and Allah rather than European slaveholders and colonialists, which is why I identify by my free national name instead of the nom de guerre most quote-unquote black people use. It's the same principle behind why Timothy Drew became Noble Drew Ali, Malcolm Little became Malcolm X, and later became El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, or why Cassius Clay became Muhammad Ali. Ultimately, those of us who are studious enough go through a phase of rediscovering our identity and its pre-colonialist connections to Islam, which is where you get the Els, Bays, Als, Days, Alis, etc. from. Most are Moorish titles of nobility, and if you're familiar with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, or Barbary treaties as they're called, then you know our people were here long before the colonialists, crusades, and or the slave trade, or slave ship stories, all of that. Our ancestors' names those days was Moor, and I identify as my ancestors did. I am a free Moor that was born and raised in Aurora, Colorado. I'm from the West. I'm a father, artist, activist, freedom fighter, and community organizer, as well as a visionary and an entrepreneur. In terms of experience, I've worked with numerous community organizations, unions, and nonprofits over the years, but decided that with all the various initiatives out there, something was still missing in our fight for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And that something is what I sought to create within Eloquence. You see, in order to address a lot of the universal problems we have as a people, we'll need to unite in an effort to address and then solve these problems. Problems such as providing our children with adequate education, acquiring quality opportunities of employment where you're actually paid a livable wage with respectable benefits, and growth opportunities that prevent you from needing to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Problems like finding affordable housing or creating our own affordable housing developments that we own and control as a way to liberate ourselves from continuing to have to live at the mercy of the generational gentrification / slumlords that currently run the real estate market, because we continue to rent from them instead of investing in our own housing developments or ownership opportunities. The educational system shortfalls, Hollywood, the mainstream media's misrepresentation of our people, our lack of economic and political power, the justice system, and our total disenfranchisement, not just from America, but in the world itself, and the list could go on for hours. But in order to solve these issues within our communities, we must come together with an effective plan of action and the means to produce our desired results, all of which will also provide our people with the opportunity to establish our own political power, as well as find ways to enable our people to liberate themselves from the institutional setbacks designed to keep our people at the bottom of European colonialist states. Eloquence is designed to address and then solve all of these issues while actively educating and empowering the impoverished, neglected, and disenfranchised people of our communities and of the world. While our primary focus will be on our community of Moors and the Moorish Americans therein, We will also work towards reconnecting with all of our people, whether they call themselves Black, Brown, Red, Negro, African American, Native American, American Indian, Haitian, Hispanic, Jamaican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, etc. If you've been injured by European colonialists, or even if you are European and you're tired of seeing humanity's continual brutalizing exploitation, we want you to unite with us in solidarity as we strive to uplift fallen humanity and reconnect our people with their true and pre-colonial history, heritage, and inheritance. This is an important aspect of the LAQNX movement because many of our people have continued to be brainwashed, colonized, and indoctrinated by Europeans who seek to destroy our true history and heritage while instilling white supremacist agenda of racism and racial identities founded on ignorance and hatred, which are the true enemies of humanity. The fact of the matter is that racism, as we know it, was invented in the late 1700s by a German anthropologist named Blumenbeck as a social class system which has resulted in a systematic institution of racism that we are still fighting today. Before Blumenbeck invented a way of dumbing down humanity to the point that people's identity was based off nothing more than their complexion, our ancestors identified themselves by their nation, by their tribe, by their culture, their spiritual beliefs. There were still wars, types of slavery and oppression, but none as extreme as or on the same scale as what European colonialism has enacted through the institution of racism. So how do we solve this situation? We do it through unity, intelligence, and activism. Works, actions, and deeds focused on uplifting and uniting our people while producing our desired results. In saying that, allow me to say that I am a Moorish nationalist, i.e. I do not agree with the globalist agenda of creating one world with no borders and European philosophies being forced upon the world. I am and am not a separatist. I am a separatist in the sense that I believe that those of us who are enlightened and activated, as in those who seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, then apply that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to our lives and to uplift and empower the hearts and minds of fallen humanity, should unite with each other and leave the uninterested to their devices. The cold hard truth is that you can't save everybody, and only those who are willing to save themselves will find true and lasting salvation. I'm not a separatist in the sense of people being defined by their complexion. I believe there's good and bad people from all walks of life, and I'm more focused on uniting with the good people than I am on perpetuating the falsehood of racial identities. Because of this, the GoldenLebEl Society will be for Moors and Moorish descendants only, while LAQNX will be for all of humanity. Due to the damage done to the heirs of the Moorish Empire, from slavery to the stealing of our language, our gods, our ancestry, our territory, and our inheritance, it is still necessary for us to rebuild the foundation of our nation. In order for our people to find true liberty and justice for all, we must find it for ourselves. Much like Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association, Noble Drew Ali's Moorish Science Temple of America, Farah Muhammad's Nation of Islam, or Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton's Black Panther Party, we are focused on self-empowerment and working together towards our shared goals of achieving a higher quality of life while liberating ourselves and our communities mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and politically. In addition to the foundational approach of our ancestors, we will also be emphasizing the ability and effectiveness of remaining solution-oriented, because by remaining solution-oriented, rather than just analyzing and reanalyzing the issues and arguing and debating about them, we will focus our energy on creating and becoming our own solutions. Hence, we will produce results rather than just wasted energy of crying and complaining while remaining relatively inactive. An example of how this will work can actually be found in how the idea behind LAQNX came to me. In June of 2013, myself and over 100 members of our Walmart, or the organization United for Respect at Walmart, which is a labor organization, went on an extended strike and traveled to Bentonville, Arkansas for Walmart's annual shareholders meeting. It was the first time such a large group of Walmart workers had gone on strike, and the fact that so many of us were from so many different places throughout the states, the action qualified as a national concerted activity to protest the working conditions at Walmart, as well as the retaliation happening to Walmart employees that spoke out about the working conditions, the discrimination, the low pay, and the general lack of respect for workers as human beings. While in Bentonville, we were joined in solidarity by other organizations such as the UFCW, the Teamsters, Jobs with Justice, the Bangladesh workers whose factory burnt down, former Walmart employees, and more. Now, as a regional leader, I was one of the members on the planning committee that orchestrated this whole action, and on about the second or third day there, I was in a meeting with about 30 people, and we were mapping out our plans for the following day. While in the meeting, I was kind of taking in the weight of what we were doing. Just the fact that we were on a national strike without being in a union with a legal president. Not to mention that we were protesting in front of Walmart's home office, marching through downtown Bentonville, protesting in front of the original Five and Dime that Walmart grew from, all while Walmart was conducting its annual shareholders meeting down the street. I actually coined the phrase respect us or expect us in a spoken word poem I performed while there, and a few of our members picked it up as a battle cry of sorts, a way of saying we are in it for the long haul or we will fight until we win. All in all, it was a pretty epic action for all of the workers in America, and it was also a great example of what the front lines look like in fighting for or creating social change. We had people from all religions, all cultures, all walks of life. We were all united in our fight for justice and liberation from the oppression of current American economics. It was solidarity in its purest form, but we were also organized to where all of our marshals had attended training. We had lawyers designated for speaking to the police, so if they did stop us, they didn't stop the action, and they had no excuse to even speak to us directly. We had our own filming crew, people elected to give speeches and talk to the media if they showed up. Like organized labor and civic action are quite a powerful combination, and we will need a lot more of it if we plan to change the ways of the world. Needless to say, it's a piece of history I'm proud to have been a part of. But while taking in the scene, the potential of our group and the power present in that room, the thought occurred to me that we could actually create an alternative to Walmart. Like, instead of spending all of this time, money, energy trying to change Walmart, we could build our own and put our time, money, and energy into that. This led me to the realization that what we're missing in our struggle for freedom, justice, and equality is an alternative to the systems and the institutions that we are combating. To win this world, we'll need both, but while many organizations are designed to struggle against the entities oppressing us, there are few creating an alternative to those entities. To elaborate on this idea, let's use retail as an example. What if instead of fighting to change the retail giants, we built one as a co-op? Let's say the store was modest enough to only earn the average of $15 million in a year with 100 employees. That equals $150,000 a year per employee, but let's take 20% of that off the top to keep the lights on, enhance our marketing capabilities, and invest in our communities. 20% of $15 million is $3 million, which leaves $12 million to be split between 100 employees, equating an average salary of $120,000 a year for retail work. How many people do you know that make $120,000 a year with one full-time job? How many people do you know that would love the opportunity to work for such a company while reserving the right to vote on the company's policies and procedures as an equal member of the cooperative? Right, and the best part about this formula is that it can be used for gas stations, coffee shops, warehouses, manufacturing jobs, etc. Pretty much anything you can create a business out of, you can make a co-op for, and all it takes is us working together towards the shared goal of building and investing in ourselves and our own communities, because all of that money is still being made, but the difference is that corporate greed takes as much as it can from our communities, while co-ops are designed to empower and invest in their employees and communities. If you look at Walmart, the main difference is that the salaries are so low and the communities are a non-issue. So most of the profits they generate go to the board of directors, CEO bonuses, and their shareholders instead of the people actually in the stores doing the work, which is why Walmart is considered so investor friendly to the rich while becoming the least that it has to our communities. Ultimately, all of their shoppers are active participants, and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. But Walmart is just an example of the exploitation that has become the American economy. By us founding, investing in, and supporting the creation of co-ops, we can change that once and for all. But the point of this example is to display that there are legitimate alternatives to the greedy and inhumane economical practices of today's society that we haven't spent the time, money, or energy investing in for them to flourish, and eloquence is here to change that. The simple truth is that if you give something time, money, and energy, you are investing in it. But the sad part is that few of our people actually measure the return they are receiving from their investments. Let's say you want to be a business owner. Instead of reading and researching the different avenues available to you, all you do is work, watch TV, and hang out on Facebook. None of these activities are going to make you a successful entrepreneur. Applying that same logic from micro to a macro perspective, what are we doing as a community to ensure that we're having successful communities? Like, we can say we want to see more of our children succeed in life, but are we actually investing in their success? Are we building our own schools or starting our own after-school programs? Are we mentoring? Are we effectively communicating and listening to the needs of our children? Are we investing more in their success or in their failure by failing to provide them with the tools they need to succeed? It's like, what if we started investing as a community into building up our own communities? What couldn't we do? Creating jobs and ownership opportunities could become second nature to us while we work towards prioritizing our children's education and living environments to the point that we can overcome all obstacles within the next generation and allow our people to begin protecting, defending, and supporting ourselves as we flourish together as one. That is the actualization of the long-awaited us, ours, and we to me. That's what eloquence represents. In short, the reason I felt eloquence was necessary is because with all of the energy we spend fighting institutional pitfalls and playing politics, arguing with each other, organizing town halls few people attend, or trying to get news coverage for certain events or protests, etc., we end up wasting about 90% of our energy combating things we could easily overcome if we just focused on creating the solutions to the problems we face in an organized and well-informed manner instead of just protesting, boycotting, and arguing about them. This train of thought is what led me to start an eloquence movement, and with all of the energy and opportunities we wasted arguing amongst ourselves or making excuses for our complacency as a people, it is now time for us to become active participants in controlling the fate of our people locally, nationally, and internationally through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, while turning poverty into a plateau for prosperity. It's time for us to take ownership of our actions, communities, interests, and objectives, all of which eloquence is designed to do. The reason I feel like I'm the best person to lead this movement is because where many of our social leaders become duplicitous, compromised, or disingenuous, I'm completely committed to inspiring and empowering the nations of the world so we can overcome hatred and ignorance once and for all. This cause is something I've dedicated my life to accomplishing. It's my passion and my purpose. I am a revolutionary, and as such, I am in this fight for life. We, being myself and those who fight alongside me, will fight until we win. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this recording. Please like, share, comment if you have any questions or concerns. Please visit LAQNX.com if you haven't already and subscribe for updates. That's LAQNX.com. We have an app that we're working on that will complement the movement and the website as well, but we're still working out the details of that. So stay tuned, stay focused, and keep moving forward. This is GoldenLebEl signing off, and I look forward to building with you in the future. Over and out.